I'm filming this video on May 16th, and I have a question for you. Do you know the significance of today's date? I'm betting you don't, which speaks to a glaring issue in today's society that gets little, if any, attention. Indeed, anyone that tries to bring attention to this date is often attacked and shouted down for doing so. You see, today, May 16th, is recognized as International Day of the Boy Child. A day to focus on boys and their well-being. A day to focus on their needs and their right to feel happy, healthy, and valued within family and community. A day that is supposed to celebrate boys and send them a positive message. A day to encourage boys to be, if I may borrow the phrase, all that they can be. And yet, the only sound you're going to hear is... I'm betting few, if any of you watching this are even aware that today is International Boys Day, or that it exists at all. And what a shame that is. You won't see it talked about in the news. Google isn't going to go and create any special animations or Easter eggs in their search bar, like they do for International Women's Day. You aren't going to hear politicians doing press conferences and trying to raise awareness about the issues that boys face in today's society. And you certainly aren't going to hear about it in schools, where the education system has utterly neglected and forgotten about boys. This despite the fact that boys are already lagging far behind girls, even more so than when the entire educational system was revamped in the 1970s, because then it was girls that were lagging behind. This day was established to mirror the International Day of the Girl Child, which was started in 2012. And which you'll often see coverage about in the media. In fact, it took 6 long years after that date for anyone to even consider having a day for boys. Much like there's been a presidential office for women and children in the US for well over a decade now, yet there still isn't one for men and boys. Much like there is a minister for women and girls in the UK, yet no such minister exists for men and boys. Hell, recent calls to have a minister created have been shouted down by women's groups and feminists as unneeded, unwanted, and misogynistic even. They're working feverishly to deny boys the very same caring, compassion, and concern that's been given to girls for years now. Why? So, my friends, take a moment out of your day to reflect on that inequality. Take a moment to ask yourself, how is that right? How is it that you don't even know today exists? How is it that there is little to no attention paid to the unique challenges and pressures faced by boys in today's society? How is it right that women's groups, the so-called mama bears, are actively working to prevent the issues their sons are dealing with from even being talked about, let alone addressed? Take today as an opportunity to reflect and ask yourself, what can I do to help? To help raise awareness on the issues that men and boys face, such as the educational disparities, mental health, societal expectations, all of which affect boys disproportionately. Perhaps consider sharing or reposting this video. It's a small step, but it's a step. And finally, take a moment to ask, why are we as a society not focusing on nurturing and empowering boys with positive guidance and equitable opportunities, in the very same way we have for girls for decades now? Isn't it time we stopped demonizing boys, stopped blaming them for all of society's ills? Isn't it time we tell them that they do matter, they are worthy, and that we're here to help? The honest truth is, for most, the answer is no. No, it is not. And it breaks my heart to say that, but it is the truth, and you should let that sink in. Take a moment today, indeed every day, to reach out to the boys in your life, to the young man struggling just to survive in a society that loathes him for simply being him. Reach out to the men in your life who've grown up with the toxicity directed at them day after day, a toxicity they all have to deal with every minute of every hour of every day until they die. Tell these men and boys that they do matter and that you do care. Tell them that you love them and appreciate them, because they need to hear it. It's something many men and boys have never been told in their entire life. and many will never be told that they matter. You could literally change their life.